Today's video is about buttons in menu. So as we see here, we have a lot of them, and we are about their functionality, so how they work. Let's generate some map and see what is going on. So we have fixed buttons, which are positioned on the screen. We have movable, which mostly contains some menu. So all this area, if we see restricted, we see this is the area of the menu, which is marked white, and the rest of the menu is in such a case invisible, but this is only for debugging. So these many buttons are working only if they are clicked or we are in the restricted area, so something happened, but only once. They are performed only once, so they are very fast. So we are not prompting those buttons all of the time. If we move it, of course this is prompted every frame. Okay, so hide it. Functionality. We can minimize it, move it as I showed previously. We can adapt the size depending on the content of given submenu. We can minimize, hide it somewhere. So everything what we expect from normal buttons. Every button have a rectangle. It is easier for mouse checking, but if there be rectangular triangles or any other kind of VBUF, so it would make no difference. It will be just checking a lot of triangles. They have sprite, they have mouse over sprite, and some sound is connected. Yeah, so I connect same sound for all the buttons on click, so they are mostly connected to the mouse clicking. Right function in most cases, right mouse button. Execute description, and left execute the function, but I'm able to connect whatever to the left and right function of mouse buttons, so we can see it soon on the code. So let's go to the code. Okay, we are back in the code. So we have only one room which holds one object, and this object is our game. It's holding the whole game, as we see previously in this project. It is much more convenient for me to use all we call objects as parts of the arrays or structs, because I'm quite old, and in my age I'm used to use memory directly, and because we are not performing such stuff today, I'm just more convenient with arrays. So we're gonna use for buttons two things: click restricted, which was those white fields when we interacting with many buttons and not with the game map itself, and current menu array, which is holding the buttons. So those are empty in create event, they are just storage. Then we go to the step event, and every frame we try to perform loading menu, only in case if menu is empty. So if its array length is shorter than 1, so obviously it's empty. In such a case, we are resetting restrictions, and we're gonna load from map templates, which are shown later on, some menu. So my menu holds only those basic stuff, which was dev menu and display menu. This one was showing us FPS and those restrictions, and display menu was about to change drawing pipelines and what we see on the screen. If we go directly to generate map menu, it was this first screen we seen. It was loading us buttons about changing map values, so how much water and so on, which is not important. And we spend most time in editor map menu, where we have those mobiles menu. We can move around, minimap and brushes to paint the map. So we focus on this part. So the menu that interests us most for now is this minimap menu and palette menu, but in every other case, if current menu array is empty, we have to load something. Let's close it for now. Clean the restricted, and we are asking the what is current menu. So where in the game we are. Obviously at the start we are in the main menu, which allows us to go to editor or play game or whatever, and by clicking map editor we are going to generate map, which we seen at the beginning of the video. And then, because we have used this map, we go to the editor map menu, and this is what we see most of the time, which is a minimap and editor palette menu. So we know that for sure this part is empty, so it's have an array of length of 0. Because it has a length of 0, this array, we need to fill it with some buttons. So we asking to return some buttons with given menu, minimap menu or editor palette menu. In this case we load minimap, but whatever name we search, we're going here, and this function seek through our menu templates, which were returned here. Of course we don't have to load it every time, but for now in this project we are on the prototype. So we're searching these templates, and if many match, we return buttons which are on the second position of given array. So we searching that way. So we have many name and buttons, many name and buttons, many name and buttons. Then we delete the name of the array because we don't need it any longer. So we stay in the return buttons array with only buttons that should be returned. We send it back. So we have loaded all those buttons. Now we are searching for restrictions, so those white spaces that are restricted, so we are in the menu or we are or over the map. So push restrictions, search, same thing, it is searching our menu templates which should be loaded before, and if it finds on the position 1, 0 some variable, so it loading it, and it's scaling this to the current screen. So whatever we change the size of the screen, it would be adapted. So if we change resolution, it would adapt and we will be seeing same menu, just resolution would be different, but it will work under different resolution. So it is scalable. This is important. So we are back in the current menu. We have partial restriction, and in the restricted, for clicking, we pushing those new values. So those are basically rectangles showing us where we are on menu or not. It will be important later on. Okay, so how those buttons are created. We go back to the menu templates, which we have loaded, and we see this. So we're creating some templates. Many templates is emptied, and we return it back here. So in case of every menu, we are passing name here in the pass to array menu templates, and we pass the menu, so buttons itself. How works this name I showed just previously. we deleting it later on. It is just for searching reason. It is indexing. So simplest menu is a main menu, which holds only two buttons. We are already here. So this function gonna return as buttons and some other informations, which was those restricted area, which are returned as the first kind of button, a special case, which are searched later on to return those areas where we are on the menu or not. So in this case we're creating some buttons and we scale all the menu. I will describe scaling of the menu in different video, but it depends on the resolution we take in the create event, on how big is our window or how big is our display. Because we are starting in the full screen, obviously borderless window will have size of the screen. But later on we calculate the scale and return it, and then we do something else to this. So we can consider for the basic resolution the size is multiplied by 64, which is our normal size of 1, and could be scaled. It depends on something else, not important now. So we consider the buttons measurement of 64 pixels, but the buttons could have any size. But for easier calculation, 1 is 64 pixels, which we load here. It will be used later on. So this is a scaling factor. Okay, so menu X size is how big is our menu, which will be important for restriction. E size is also size of our menu in the I scale, and xref is the basic point where the menu is started. So in this case it is the half of the screen, because it is a main menu, and our references are moved by this code somewhere there in the middle of the screen. It doesn't play any role. So this is the position where restrictions start. In the case of our screen, we counting by 64 pixels. Somewhere here, I don't know where it is. Other menus will be much easier. Where is start and how big is our rectangle. So this is basically define of the rectangle. And this is pushing this menu to this menu as first button. This is only special button we push.